Today we're taking a look at Spider-Man Brand New Day, and more specifically the 3D presentation of the film. Is this one worth watching in 3D? Does it make the action and web slinging feel even more immersive? And where does this film rank amongst Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies? Now I'll start with a non-spoiler review so everyone can watch it safely. Then I'll give you a clear spoiler warning before diving into the story and the characters in more detail. So let's get into the review. First of all, I had a really good time with this film. In fact, I'd go as far as saying this is my favourite Spider-Man film starring Tom Holland. And that's saying something because I've enjoyed his journey all the way from Homecoming through to Far From Home and No Way Home. Overall, Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire is still my favourite all-time Spider-Man movie, and I think the film remains incredibly difficult to beat. But Brand New Day feels like the beginning of a new chapter for Peter Parker. The tone is noticeably more mature and a little darker than previous Tom Holland outings. Peter has clearly grown as both a superhero and as a person, and I really appreciated seeing that development. After everything he's gone through since Homecoming, it finally feels like we're watching a more experienced Spider-Man, carrying the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. The film also lends heavily into the action sequences, and thankfully they're extremely entertaining. So now let's focus on the 3D presentation of the film. For me, this is where the film really shines. The web swinging sequences through the New York skyline are absolutely fantastic in 3D. You generally get the sensation of height and speed as Spider-Man swings between skyscrapers. The city has excellent depth, giving New York a huge sense of scale. There are also several moments where objects extend beyond the screen, with some really enjoyable pop-out effects. They're not constant throughout the film, but when they happen they definitely add to the excitement rather than feeling gimmicky. The action scenes really benefit from the extra dimensionality. Instead of everything feeling flat, the layers of the buildings, vehicles and characters all have their own space within the image. For me, this is exactly what I want from a modern 3D release. So if you're a fan of 3D movies, I think you'll enjoy this one. So overall, as a movie, I thought it was excellent. As a 3D experience, I enjoyed it even more. Before we continue, from this point onwards, I'll be discussing spoilers. So if you haven't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day yet, now's the time to pause the video, watch it, and then come back. You have been warned. One of the things I loved most was seeing Peter Parker continue to evolve. Ever since Homecoming, we watched him grow from an enthusiastic teenager trying to prove himself into someone who's carrying enormous responsibility. In Brand New Day, that maturity really comes through. He's more confident, but he's also more isolated, and I thought the darker tones suited the character perfectly. The emotional side of the film worked particularly well for me. Watching Peter struggle to rebuild relationships with MJ and Ned added genuine heart to the story. And after everything that's happened in the previous films, these moments felt earned rather than forced. I also enjoyed seeing Bruce Banner return. His interactions with Peter continued with that mentor-style dynamic, while still allowing Peter to stand on his own as Spider-Man. The action throughout the film is fantastic. There are several large-scale set pieces that really come alive in 3D. Whether it's swinging through the Manhattan or the close-quarter fights, the added depth makes you feel much more involved in what's happening on screen. One character I was really pleased to see was Frank Castle, the Punisher. He brings a completely different energy to the MCU. Spider-Man always tries to save everyone, while Frank Castle approaches problems from the opposite direction. That contrast creates some really interesting moments between the two characters and gives the film a slightly grittier edge. I was also happy to see Scorpion finally appear in a role. Now, he's a classic Spider-Man villain, and I thought it was great seeing him properly brought into the story. And then there's probably one of the biggest talking points, the introduction of Jean Grey. I thought this was a really exciting way of introducing one of the most iconic X-Men characters into the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe. It opens up so many possibilities for future films, and I'm really interested to see where Marvel takes the storyline next. Overall, I felt this movie balanced action, character development and emotional moments really well. Rather than simply trying to top the spectacle of No Way Home, it focuses on moving Peter Parker's story forward, and I think that's exactly what this franchise needs. So where do I rank it? For me, this is the best Spider-Man film featuring Tom Holland. It presents a more mature Peter Parker, delivers some fantastic action, introduces exciting new characters, and provides an excellent showcase for 3D enthusiasts. While Spider-Man 2 still holds the #1 spot overall for me, Brand New Day is a very worthy addition to the Spider-Man legacy. And if you're a fan of physical media and still collect 3D Blu-rays, I think this is one to be able to track down, possibly as a bootleg, maybe a Japanese release. But unfortunately, it could be expensive to pick up. So now I'd love to know your thoughts down in those comments. Did you enjoy this film? Did you watch it in 3D? And where does it rank amongst your favourite Spider-Man movies? Pop down your thoughts in those comments. And while you're there, please give the video a thumbs up. Hope you enjoyed my review. Thanks for watching. See you next time.